The setup for this vitrectomy is 25 gauge Alcon constellation with a Synergetics chandelier light. Please note the dense vitreous hemorrhage with old white blood. You see that the retina is attached and that the posterior hyaloid is partially detached, partially attached. I'm inducing now a posterior vitreous detachment. And removing the old hemorrhage. This is 3 to 4 weeks after perforation. Here is the metal foreign body at the nasal pole. Please note also the residual subretinal choroidal hemorrhage. Here is still some attached posterior hyaloid, which I'm trying to remove. This is a 25 gauge vitreous cutter. So now we come to this intraocular foreign body. You can see that the biggest part is subretinal. So I'm injecting perfluorocarbon to protect the posterior pole. Now I'm using an Atkinson cannula, a very cheap cannula, to open up the tissue above the metal foreign body. It could be an alternative to leave the foreign body at place, but as we know that metal causes toxic retinal damage after a long time, so I'm continuing to remove it. Now I'm using an Atkinson cannula and a forceps. Here you see the metal foreign body. It's very deep inside the tissue, and I'm trying to extract the foreign body with an Eckert forceps. And as you can see, I am not succeeding. Please note also this necrotic tissue coming out of the wound. Now I'm using 2 forceps to remove this big foreign body, which is firmly attached inside the tissue. But even with 2 forceps, I do not succeed removing the foreign body. So I try again with forceps and Atkinson cannula. To get it out from the side, but I can tell you now I will not succeed. I'm only inducing a focal retinal detachment. So limbal peritomy on the opposite side. This has to be done in any case because the foreign body is far too big for the trocars. So you have to measure with the right distance, 4 mm behind the limbus, using a V lens from Alcon. I remove some intervitreous, which is located behind the sclerotomy. Now comes the 20 gauge foreign body forceps and a second Eckert forceps, which is actually not necessary because I can remove it now actually quite easily. I will try to relocate the foreign body for easier removal. Now I lost it. So that was a bad idea. Now I have to get it back. And it is not so easy. So I'm happy that I protected the macula with perfluorocarbon. You can even see the effect on the retinal tissue. So now I have it, and I think I will not do something more. Simply try to remove it in one go. I'm flicking out the biome, and I hope to extract it now in one movement. I'm trying to hold the wound, the sclerotomy, open with a to enlarge it with a V lens from Alcon to have more space. And now I'm holding the wound open with a surgical forceps, but unfortunately it got stuck inside the sclerotomy, so I have to try to remove it from this position using two surgical forceps. I'm using again this Atkinson cannula to come behind, trying to come behind the foreign body and push it outside. But I have no success. So I'm enlarging the sclerotomy with the V lens. This is the V lens, and I'm enlarging the sclerotomy. But the foreign body does not want to leave the eye. I'm using again the Atkinson cannula to come behind the foreign body, but no success. So I use again forceps with teeth, surgical forceps. And again, no success. So I try once more with the foreign body forceps, 20 gauge. And again, this is my savior, the foreign body forceps. The foreign body is removed. So now we can close the sclerotomy. I'm using Vicryl 80 cross sutures to close this sclerotomy. And now we have to take care of the impact side on the retina. I remove first some anterior vitreous with blood cells. Okay, so now this is the impact site. Here's a slight hemorrhage. But you can see that there is no fresh blood coming from this big wound. And the reason for this is that I waited 3 to 4 weeks for the surgery to prevent hemorrhaging and to prevent post-operative scarring and post-operative PVR detachment. So it's time to remove the perfluorocarbon. It's not needed anymore. Now comes laser photocoagulation. And I think you can see that I'm doing a big circle because the tissue inside the circle is detached. There's a focal detachment in this area. So I'm trying to push the tissue back into the wound, continuing with a fluid against air exchange. And aspirating subretinal fluid from this focal detachment. I will only use a gas tamponade here, no silicone oil. There's no silicone oil necessary in a delayed vitrectomy. Because I removed most of the subretinal fluid, so laser is now possible because the subretinal fluid is removed. And it will be a C2F6 tamponade. And this is the final touch. Now we come to the 3 weeks follow-up. Visual acuity is 0.9. The patient is very happy. And here's an optos picture with the residual gas bubble. A very nice scar tissue on the impact side,